What up, what up? How's everybody doing? It is Tuesday. It's good to be alive. Another beautiful day here on this earth. Hope everybody's doing well. I am, of course, Big Cheds. This is part of the Quick Market Update series on my YouTube at Cheds Trading. It's going to go into that playlist, Quick Market Updates. Even though I may not stream like all the time, you can just take advantage of what I have here for you. Huge library, watch the TA tutorials. I published 4 books, and I've been working on a free version of that third book, Trading Quotes. I just put out a new video, I think yesterday or the day before, so check that out. The new book is out, The Trading Journal. Catch it on Amazon, reviews are in, people love it. Why you should use a trading journal, what goes into a trading journal, trading ideas, their stop loss, profit-taking plan, emotional mindfulness, good trader habits is an awesome project. Hope you consider checking that out. I'm on Twitter, of course, Big Cheds. Catch me there, ask me your questions. I'll try to get back at you there. If you're looking for a trading exchange, check out Bing X and, of course, Bitcoin Live, where I do the full market report twice a week with the best team in the world that studies crypto every Wednesday and Sunday night. So how's everybody doing? Thank you for coming for another stream. I try to stay active here on YouTube. I'm always active on Twitter, of course. YouTube is extra. It's for fun. I got a little fishing trip coming up, so this is going to be my last stream for a week and a half or so, but I'll be back after that. You'll still be able to find me, of course, on Twitter. Let me know what's up, how you're feeling, your thoughts, what's going on. Let me know what's cracking. Leave me a comment here in the chat room. Hit subscribe so you can join the chat. Give me like a good question if you can, something you think maybe other people are struggling with or dealing with, and I'll try to answer it. I mean, this is a great opportunity for you to, to talk to me and ask me a question. Bitcoin's incredibly strong. I mean, we just had the highest weekly close ever. Beautiful, beautiful weekly candle. Looked like it was going to pause too. Looked like we're going to get like a doji or another spinning top or some kind of real, this is technically a spinning top, but more of like closing somewhere in this range, threatening to roll over. We've had very, very shallow retracements so far. You can see on the 4-hour, I mean, just this steady price distance to the MA200, since 84K. As you remember, I gave everybody that long signal on Twitter at 81K. And it's just been, look at this beautiful price distance. It's been very shallow. The retracements have just been incredibly shallow, which is notable to see. And we had some fake outs here where we had this range, we had the break above, come back, local break. We had this high wave candle in the daily expressed here on the 4-hour. We have this range here, pushing, grinding higher. So it's a really steady, solid uptrend. There's no real warning signs just yet. Even with these high wave candles, we have the high wave candle here in the 12th. And this is arguably high wave as well, both outside bars as well, but just within a rising environment, rising EMA 8. Incredibly steady, very strong trend. What do you do if you're sidelined? Well, I don't know about chasing. I would never chase. I mean, Bitcoin will give dips at some point. I would continue to target 96K range. 88.5 is logical spots. I think that would be places you'd want to take a look at. For sure, Ethereum weak to Bitcoin. Some recent outperformance. We'll look at that in a minute with the next chart. But we see here the long signal given, 2150 break, and a bounce and initial rejection at the first level of interest, 2700. Confluence or combining with that falling D or daily MA200, and just kind of in between ranges here. Just the downtrend of the year, right? The ETH versus BTC. Big outperformance here within about a week period, and a little bit of a rollover. I've been saying that I'm not convinced there's bottom in this chart. I don't think you can be convinced there's no bottom yet. We're keeping an eye out on that, and Solana bounced into the underside 180, kind of like that 2700 level for Bitcoin after that 125 long signal I gave you guys on Twitter. Held, paused, and it can chopped around the 145 level and pushed all the way to 180. So we're going level to level on these for sure. Let's check in with the chat, see how everybody's doing, what you're feeling. Give me a good question as we get this room filled up. Think about something you'd like me. Maybe I'll take a look at a chart for you. Maybe something you're having trouble with, just figuring out your trades. spill the beans. This is your opportunity to do it here. And if you've read, by the way, if you've read the new book, thank you. Please consider filling out a review. Let me know in the chat what you think. And that's helpful. I love writing books, but I love even more. I really love just the feedback and kind of, I think it's a great book, but until people read it and they use it and it actually helps them, then that's the real extra is when I get that feedback. So what's up, Captain Bo, Jason, Legends, Influence, Josh? Let's see. Terrific Tuesday. Thank you, brother. And Legends, thank you, man. All right. So when you're entering swing positions, okay, which is usually a swing position is usually like a longer term type of a position. So I'll go to weekly here to start before I start answering the questions. When you're entering a swing position, how are you placing your stop loss, target profit? Are you really setting any of those because they're longer held positions? That's a good question. I think you definitely are setting a stop loss. Okay, maybe it's not for the entire position because you want to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, and maybe you're, you for sure are setting like an alert, like in TradingView or something. Like, let's say you've entered, even on the break of like 95K and you're swing trading, you say, well, I'll hold as long as 88, 5 hold, which is a pretty big gap. But if you're holding for like 150, 200, you don't care. You'd enter here and say this is your stop loss. I'd at least have something in TradingView telling you when the price gets close by. And I probably would have a partial stop loss somewhere in this range because Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin is so volatile, and it can be. It's not always volatile, but has potential to have $10,000 daily candles. And you don't want to get caught in the wrong side of that volatility. So I would have at least a partial stop loss in to answer your question. Number two, I would have an alert on the trading software to let me know when the price is getting nearby. And then again, you drop to lower time frame. Even though you're longer term trading, you're swing trading, you're operating based on the weekly trend, classical charting, you're going to drop to a lower time frame when the price gets to a key level. In terms of setting a profit target, I don't know that I would because there's no structure. What's your profit target here if Bitcoin breaks out? Where? What are you, the 150 resistance? It doesn't exist. So you can, any kind of profit target here is arbitrary. I mean, you can draw, you can do all sorts of stuff, Fibonacci extensions. You could draw the height of the prior consolidation range and extend it, but these are kind of arbitrary things, to be honest. You don't really have any real data. All you can really do is follow the trend. So you should have a general idea in mind, right? And I talk about that in the trading journal, of course. But I don't know that you would set like a sell order kind of just yet. But I would definitely have at least like a partial stop loss for sure to manage your risk, right? You always want to define your risk. Josh Imhoff, is Bitcoin weekly bearish divergence concerning? What bearish divergence? Let's take a look. I see bullish divergence with RSI. RSI has lower lows. This is a hidden bullish divergence. We'll take from here. Lower lows. Josh, let me know what you're talking about. You've got bullish divergence on the weekly. There's no bearish divergence, okay? And even the RSI with the peaks, it kind of matches the trend, but it's a lower low. It's a hidden bullish divergence. So I'm not sure what you mean. RSI, like, here's the thing with RSI, and I've lectured on this a million times. Go to my YouTube, watch the Masterclass tutorial. It's a banded oscillator or bounded, same term, fixed upper and lower limit. It works much better for hidden divergence. You don't want to use it for regular divergence, okay? So your first instinct should be to use RSI for hidden divergence or continuation divergence. There's no RSI divergence here, and there's no RSI bear divergence here, or one that's even worth talking about. If, for example, let's say we set a high and then another high, and then you had a double negative divergence, like maybe, but even still, you'd have hidden bullish divergence. So you want to use RSI for hidden or continuation divergence, not regular. So no, to answer your questions, not concerning, not even remotely. All right. Bo Wang, what's up, Bo Wang? What's up, Bo Wang? Let's see. Do I see hidden bullish divergence? A lot of divergence questions. Okay. On the Bitcoin 4 hour. Do I see it on the BTC 4 hour? Hidden bullish divergence? No. I mean, not really. No. There's no hidden. Did you say with? Oh, first of all, hidden with OBV. What are you talking about, folks? What are you talking? You don't use hidden divergence with OBV. It's index oscillator. Use OBV is for regular divergence or reversal divergence. Hidden divergence is use RSI. There is no scenario where a lower low in the OBV is a good thing. Okay? It just doesn't make any sense intuitively. You would never want the price to climb higher, but the OBV to be lower. That's not good. That's not bullish in any sense. Okay, you do not. What's up, Chocolate? Chocolate says I caught him live. Like, please, folks, stop trading. Pull all your money out and go watch these tutorials. I think it's crazy that you would risk even $1 without having watched this series. It's the best educational series on YouTube for trading. This playlist. I teach professional TA. There's no hidden bullish divergence with OBV. You don't use OBV for hidden divergence. I'm pulling my hair out, whatever's left in my head here. Bo Wang, what are we doing, brother? JC Vega says, what's up, Cheds? What's up, JC? And JC said, what's up? Nervous times debating and swapping into alts like Render from Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Render. I haven't looked at Render too much. You don't see much upside in Bitcoin here, maybe 120, 130. Well, I mean, you don't Bitcoin, you don't want to bet against this trend. It's a beautiful trend. Beautiful, beautiful trend in the weekly, right? We see the big base break, cup and handle, yada, 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 lobster bisque. It's above the all-time highs. I'm sorry, it's above the prior peak from 21 through 24 consolidation. It's essentially right at all-time highs. So you want to switch into Render. So let's look at Render versus the dollar, versus Tether or whatever. Then let's look at Render versus Bitcoin, okay? I haven't looked at Render in a while. Actually, I think it's actually Render. Yeah. Let's look at Render, and let's look at Render BTC. Let's take a look. Because that's how I would figure this out, this puzzle out, okay? So Render itself, this is not great. Flat, it's a downtrend. So I would say no, I would not switch Bitcoin into this based on this chart. Let's look at Render versus Bitcoin, and definitely not. So the answer would be like, what are you thinking? You want to take an uptrend and you want to dump it into a downtrend. Why? That makes no sense to me. This is a bad chart. It's probably going lower, Render. I don't like your thesis. I don't like your idea. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why not play an uptrend? I'd rather, like, if you're, play an uptrend at least. If you're going to dump your money into an alt, like even TRX is an uptrend. CRV is an uptrend. Like, if you're like, oh, I'd rather dump into CRV, I'd be like, okay, I still wouldn't do it, but it would at least make sense. But into Render is a trash chart. I would delete Render from your watch list. I wouldn't even, instead of dumping your Bitcoin into this chart, delete it from the watch list. It's a bad chart. You don't want to play that. Don't even thinking about it. Let's see. What's up, T9? Cheds, I started dollar cost averaging into SQD. What is that? Is that like crypto or something I've never heard? SQD. Yeah, this is another crypto I've never heard of. There are many of them out there because there's a billion. Wow, that's a nice little chart. Yeah. Not a ton of history, but this looks pretty good. Pretty good. There you go. Good job. Very nice job. You've chosen, to quote Indiana Jones, you've chosen wisely. Could you look at the trend and tell me your thoughts on continuation? Likely continuation. Watch for a throwback to 14 cents. This is a nice grinding higher chart. No real warning signs in the volume. I like it. I mean, it's on like a minor exchange or whatever, but this is a nice looking chart. Good job. What do I think about CRV? I like it. I just touched base on it. It is an uptrend. I've been tweeting out about it. Let's clean this up. I've been tweeting out about the relative strength. If it dropped back to the 59, 60 cents range, I think that would be appealing. It does look to be continuing, does look to be working on some type of a consolidation here. Probably going to put in like a lower high and then maybe kind of come back and tag this range. But it's stair-stepping. It's got rising demand. I like it. It is a bullish chart. Okay. Chocolate says, what's up, Chocolate? We just got here, but I'm your eyeing 102K for long. Sure. I mean, that would be nice. You want to buy the dip. I mean, it's right at the bottom of this local range. I think that's just fine. I already have plenty of long exposure. So I'm not necessarily going to be that aggressive, but if the price dropped to like 95, 96K, I'd take a look. If it dropped to 88.5, I'd take a look. I've already got my long exposure. I'm not going to jump in at around 102, but say you don't have any, you're playing local structure. I think that's reasonable. I think that's fine. If this wasn't Bitcoin, if this was any chart, this is price structure above a rising MA200, which means it's an uptrend. And you've got reason to believe that demand is established in this area that you're describing, right around 102K. Okay. Tube Versa says if the price goes lower and OBV goes higher, what does that suggest? That's a bullish divergence. That suggests accumulation. The on-balance volume is an index that adds up the volume in the green and the red candles. So you don't even really need the OBV because you can see it in the volume. When you get these big volume spikes, it's rising. If you get like way more red than green volume, it's trending down. So if the price is going down, the OBV is going up, that means people are loading up. People are buying it. That is a bullish divergence. That's why it works great for regular or reversal divergence, right? And you don't use it for hidden divergence. It makes no sense. A lot of divergence talk today. Folks, go watch this Masterclass tutorial. Kind of crazy if you haven't watched it yet. What do I think about Chainlink? Sure, let's take a look at that one, Legends. I haven't looked at the old dog there in a little bit. Hopefully Chainlink's doing well. Roof. Let's see, 15.5. Okay. Stair-stepping off 15. Okay, trying to break out of the base. That's 4/8. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly's kind of messy, sloppy, consolidating, but it's just sideways. There's no real action. There's no mojo. I don't know if there's much of a trade here because there's not much of a trend. But I would say maybe let's clean this up. If you're looking for a trade, if the price can flip, 17.50, 18, I think that would be reasonable. You'd be regaining the MA200, regaining, this local resistance. You can call it a head and shoulders if you want. Shoulder, head, shoulder, neck base right here. Nice, clean, horizontal neck base. I think you can do that if you want. I'm not really in love with the chart. It's an unconfirmed uptrend. Can you look at Litecoin? Sure. It's kind of just futzing around, I believe, right around 100. Last time I looked at it. And there it is. Yeek. So, yeah, underperformer. Don't like Litecoin. You're just sitting here in Litecoin at 100 for like the last, 7 years. Good job, Look at this 200. Yeesh. There's no trend. It's flat. It's sideways. And look at this price range now for a couple years. If you're looking to accumulate it because you quote unquote believe in it, whatever that means, like, okay. It does have higher lows, sure, but there's no real momentum here. There's no real mojo. We talked a lot about this price box, 100 to 140, waiting for the breakout. It never came. Now it's kind of on the underside or the wrong side of this prior structure, and you see the rejection here, and now flirting with a rollover, doing a falling channel here. I don't like the chart, just given just the opportunities out there, the other charts, available out there. So, folks, how many of you have read my new book, The Trading Journal? It sold, like 150 copies or whatever, which is okay. Reviews are in. How many of you read this book? I'm super proud of it. I'd love to hear more feedback. Please consider checking that out. And by the way, just a reminder, my third book is free now. I'm doing one chapter at a time. I just recently posted weeks 7 and 8. I'm going to do the whole book for free. And that's me kind of going through the quotes and talking about them. And I'm just trying to create more good, free educational content. So make sure you check that out. Tube Verse, my kid's 7, where I want him to start learning trading. Watch my Masterclass. Have him watch my Masterclass series. There's 3 beginner, 1 advanced. Have them watch this one over and over again. I'm not going to tell your 7-year-old to read like a Schaubacher or Nissen textbook, but maybe Nissen's textbook. But just watch my Masterclass. I mean, that's the best way to learn trading. You're welcome. What's up, Mohammed? Thank you, brother. Can you share long-term profit exit strategy for long-term holds? Well, yes. So first of all, go to Trading Wisdom series, right, which is my best-selling book. Lesson 9 is profit taking. So I would check this out. Make sure you've watched this video. I don't know if you've watched it yet. This is a Trading Wisdom series. This is a great 18. It's like 1/3 of the book I did for free. So watch the profit taking video. That would be a good place to start. And strategy should be that you have to pay yourself for a good idea. You don't want a round trip. I would say, watch for things like, for example, on the Bitcoin chart, we've been watching the weekly MA50. All right, that's been kind of the bellwether, the lodestar. That's been kind of the line in the sand that gave us the hint, the kind of clue at the 2021 top, along with other things, the upthrust and the rest of the market behavior, of course. But we're watching the MA50 here, hold. So, like if Bitcoin starts to lose the MA50, I would trim some profit in like your long-term Bitcoin holding, for example. And so that's going to be true for any kind of chart you're looking at, is you have some type of a weekly line in the sand that's an indicator, not in the sense of an indicator, but it indicates strength of the trend. And again, the whole point of TA is to identify a trend and take advantage of a move against it. And you can use the TA to judge the strength of a trend. How do you identify reversals? Have you watched all these questions, Masterclass tutorial playlist? For example, you have simple things like an upthrust, where you have the price with a very well-established resistance, comes back, it breaks through it, it fails to hold. That's a reversal. It's called an upthrust, a failed breakout. You have loss of support. That's a potential reversal. You have all sorts of weak signs of weakening trend. That's what classical charting is for, right? Again, explained for you. I studied professional TA, and I put it for you in this playlist. And it's in my books, and most of my books are free. How do you identify reversal? That's a big question, but it's all answered for you on my YouTube. You got to watch all that stuff. What are we at? 22 minutes. All right, this is good. Folks, just to remind you, my new book is out. It's a wonderful book. It's why you should use a trading journal, how to fill it out, how to identify trade setups when those trade setups fail, emotional management, good trader habits. Because the fourth book is out, book 3, I'm making it completely free. I'm going to record the entire book in this playlist here. Make sure you've watched this Masterclass tutorial playlist. A lot of questions here are answered in this. And if you are trading and you're risking money and you haven't watched these, that's crazy to me. This is some of the best free alpha on YouTube for trading. Check out these quick market updates. This video will go into this playlist. I'm, of course, on Twitter at Big Cheds. My favorite exchange, BingX. You can find the link in the description. Bitcoin Live. I do a twice-a-week full market report. YouTube is for fun. I try to stream here twice a week, Tuesday and Friday. I try to stream Tuesday and Friday. But like when I'm on vacation or I'm feeling sick or I'm just not feeling it, I'll skip YouTube. I have not skipped Bitcoin Live in 6 years. Every Wednesday, Sunday, full market report. Best team in the world that studies crypto. So consider checking that out. You can see some of the free reports as well on the public blog. And this has been fun, folks. I'm not back Tuesday because I'm gonna be fishing. So I'll be back in like a week and a half here on YouTube. But you can catch me. I'll be on Twitter the whole time. I may or may not see your message. I'll try to respond. But of course, Bitcoin Live members, just shoot me a message there. And I replied to all those. But thank you, folks, for hanging out here today. I tried to answer as many of your questions as I could. If I did miss your question, perhaps save it for next time. Maybe even leave a comment on the video, and we can kind of go from there. So, folks, thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Big Cheds out. Take care, everybody. Be well. Cheds loves you. Peace out.